My name is Jabez Lebret. I am 36 years old now. Currently living in Berkeley, California. I run a marketing agency, and yeah, that's the me.
My name is Becky Bockers, and I am 32. Also live in Berkeley, California, and work in the healthcare industry.
So we had the opportunity to go on our local Eyes tour, from kind of a roots tour actually, which was going back to where I am from originally. Yeah, and we went back. I'm actually originally from Alaska, a little tiny place called Seldovia, which is where I was born. And we used to live in a houseboat out in the middle of the ocean. In the middle of nowhere on the Kenai Peninsula. It's where my dad was a salmon fisherman, and so that's where we used to live.
It was pretty interesting. We drove into Homer, and hung out there for a couple days, and then took a little boat, a little taxi. Well, we had a tough time actually trying to find the taxi, first of all, that would take us to the location. That's completely remote. There's no roads that lead there. It's only water taxis. So we spent probably the first part of the day trying to bribe somebody to with a boat to take us out to this little town. We're riding the boat out there, and it's kind of starting to rain. Pretty choppy. We start to see some really beautiful otters going out there, and finally get to the little area where his houseboat was. And it was probably the most beautiful and surprising little place that I've ever seen.
I was the last baby born in my town in Seldovia. The doctor actually retired, and so now all the moms have to fly to a whole other city because there's no road to get there. You can only get there by boat or plane. So it's definitely an interesting but beautiful place. It is absolutely fantastic. And when it comes to photography, I'm definitely not a professional by any stretch photographer, but we enjoy photography. I think we'd consider ourselves novice professionals.
Yeah, and we got a digital camera right before our Alaska trip to try things out. We were messing with it, with the aperture and the shutter speed.
But then, which is interesting, one of the questions is, what was it like shooting with a disposable camera? And after shooting with this this big, nice, fancy camera, the disposable was a little bit of a challenge. And
I'd say an element of surprise too with the camera, because first of all, we don't know whether or not these pictures are going to turn out. We have no idea.
Well, it's great that you only have 27 or 24 or 36 pictures. That's it. So with a digital camera, it's feel like you can just go thousands of pictures, no big deal.
Right.
You had to think a little more about what you were going to take a picture of.
Right.
And one of the questions.
Get the framing right too.
Yeah. And so did we know what we were going to shoot before we started? Definitely not. No idea. I mean, all right, I knew we'd have some mountains. There's some things in Alaska you just take pictures of.
I knew
mountains, water.
I knew we'd take a picture of the salty dog. I knew we would take a picture of the salty dog.
Yeah, that's a given. There's some landmark type pictures that had to get taken. There's this bar. It's this fisherman's bar. Well, it used to be fisherman's bar right there by the harbor, where the fishermen would come in, and they actually put dollar bills on the wall with a name on it for your buddies. So if your buddy's out to sea and they're catching fish and they're not going to be back for a while, you wite their name on it and you put it up on the wall to buy them a beer when they get back, which is kind of cool. And so now it's kind of turned into a thing where people just leave their own dollar bills up there for fun with friends' names on it and stuff, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So the salty dog is a pretty neat, a must stop place for sure.
Yeah.
What we want to show you that's on the camera. I think personally, because we both took pictures. For me, what I'm most excited for you to see on the camera is kind of the expanse of it all, and it almost like the nothingness. And I think that's kind of part of what makes Alaska incredible. Is it's huge. It's ginormous. Everything is big. The mountains are big. The glaciers are big. The water is big. The fish are big. Everything's bigger. And so just getting to see the huge expanse, I'm excited for some of those pictures.
And I would say completely opposite. I'm excited more, less about the expanse of Alaska and more about the details.
if I could give one piece of advice about going to Alaska, is just go with complete open mind of what you will or won't get to see. That will help you not get disappointed. You're gonna see a ton of amazing things. And maybe not go with expectations of I have to see this now or I have to see that now. I mean, I say sometimes people travel with really, really tight itineraries.
Yeah.
Alaska is a place you want to go, and I think you want to kind of maybe give yourself the freedom to stop and pull over if there's a moose, you know, walking down the side of the road, or if you think you see a bear, pull the car over and, you know, see if you can see the bear.
With the bear spray, of course, and try to track it like we did.
And do get bear spray. That's probably a good idea. And moose are dangerous too. So if you're going to Alaska, just remember it's not just the bear, and just plan to and go on a glacier seeing tour.
Yes,
that's the one thing I would absolutely say. It's worth the money, and it's worth the day. Just go for the day. Check out our pictures and understand that what we got is a fraction of what you will see.
Yeah.
Because it seriously is a trip full of so many sights and amazing things that what you're about to see is really just one small piece. And you know, we just encourage you, go check it out yourself. It's not close, but man, it's worth the trip.
Especially by car.